Alright, I'm back with another Destiny video, and this time we're talking about what I will call the end of Beyond Light. I know that it's technically not the end, it's 2 weeks into the season, and with how Destiny works, that is not the end of things ever. However, the raid was cleared this weekend, which is a major component of it, and then that unlocked a bunch of end of quest triggers for a couple existing storylines that had kind of been left open-ended. So it does seem like the majority of Beyond Light is more or less complete. I did like a full review of Beyond Light on Forbes that you can read, I posted earlier today, and I like it overall. I've been arguing on Twitter with people who don't like it and think it's not as good as this or that expansion, but I think it's one of my favorites overall so far. I don't know, I don't have an exact ranking order yet, but I think it's done a lot of things very well. But today I just kind of wanted to talk about these last few cleanup missions and why I thought those were so cool. The raid itself I thought was great. It looks amazing, like the aesthetic of it, the mechanics of it, the idea that you're doing encounters in a crashing space station and fighting the final boss among the wreckage is very cool. Like some people, I was a little disappointed that Clovis Bray, giant mecha Bray wasn't the final boss. But as we soon learned after, they have other plans for Clovis Bray as a giant exo, so that is something that opened up after this. A few things happened. So now there are these Europa eclipse zones where I guess it's supposed to be debris is raining down from the crashed space station onto different parts of the map in a given week. Those zones have hovering pyramid things in the sky, and they regenerate your stasis abilities really quickly. That's kind of really the only difference. There's a couple heroic patrols. There's some weird little mini games you can play with different types of fallen enemies that give you buffs from the raid that unlock certain things, and some of those are like hidden triumphs and stuff. But it's not like a huge transformation. It's not quite as big as the Dreaming City Curse, but it is kind of emulating that in that we'll see that rotate around the different zones. I was hoping a little bit for a crashed space station zone to add a new part to the map, but you take what you can get. We also had the end of the Varix questline, which was to do a new Exo challenge, and these are like like Ascendant challenges from the Dreaming City. You remember those? Where they're mostly jumping puzzles. They're not hard to find like the Ascendant City ones. Like you don't have to drink the little potion and just find them on the map in a given week. Like they're just on the map. This one was like 12:30, I think, and it was pretty easy. Mostly just jumping around, staying warm from bonfires and stuff, and then fighting a final boss. I think you can get a pinnacle drop from it every week once you do a few of Varix's upgrades. Varix has a whole lot more upgrades you can do. I finished all of them. Another major one is that there's now a weekly Empire hunt that is sort of like a Nightfall Strike, where it goes all the way up to 1280, and there are champions in it. This is kind of weird because you get one pinnacle from it if you upgrade Varix all the way, but then the other main purpose of it is to farm for Cloud Strike, which is the new exotic lightning bolt sniper, which only drops from that. I did about 12 runs before I got it, and I barely used it, but it seems really good from what I've seen so far. And I'm not really a sniper in general on PC or console, but I'm curious what boss DPS is like on that. I haven't really gotten a chance to test it yet. I'll have to watch some Astacross videos or something to see all the people that are actually testing it. I missed the tribute hall. That was such a good way to test things, and now it's just gone, and there's no replacement for it. That's sad. There's not even Greg the Yogurt because he was on Titan. So I don't know what people use to test things anymore, but I was happy to get that. These are really fast runs. I was doing the 1230s, which have champions in them, and we were just tearing them up. And one reason we were tearing them up is because another exotic launched, which was the Lament quest, which is tied to Banshee and a giant head of Clovis Bray in some deep dark part of the facility that we haven't unlocked yet until after the raid. I'm not going to go into like super quest spoilers for that, but it is a very, very good, interesting story quest. Like it is a lot of busy work, and it's like Clovis Bray being like, prove yourself, kill 100 Vex with a sword, and like dumb stuff like that. But There is some really good story components to it. There is a massive revelation that some a-hole on the internet spoiled for me ahead of time, so I wasn't super surprised by it, but the implications of it are still pretty huge, and I don't think the storyline is fully over in regard to the characters it contains. The lament, the sword itself, is insane. I've never seen anything like it. I think it's dramatically more powerful than Flying Guillotine once you know how to use it. You do a couple light attacks to build up its charges, and then you do a heavy attack for just insane amounts of damage. And if that wasn't enough, it's also an anti-barrier weapon. And if that wasn't enough, it also heals you when you hit people with it. So people are saying like, oh, Falling Guillotine's better in this. I don't know. I think Lament is top of everything right now. Like I'm seeing everyone one phase everything in the new raid with Lament in a way that I don't think you can do with Falling Guillotine. I am not calling for it to be nerfed. I'm just saying it is really, really strong to the point of almost absurdity. And like, yes, it is an exotic, so you cannot pair it with Izanagi's or Wither Horde or whatever. So you're trading something for it, but man, that's a ton of damage. And it was a really good quest. So I was very happy to see all of that unlocked after the raid. And then the final thing is we do the end of the Stranger quest, which is kind of tedious, honestly. It's more tedious than the Lament quest. It's just more busy work and charging up the key, and then you have to find all 9 of the little secret hovering pyramid things you have to blow up with the whatever the stasis gun is called again, Salvation's Grip. And that was not the most fun, but you unlock your second augment for each class, which is the Warlock one, which freezes everyone around your rift, which is crazy, and it gives the Warlock 4 full fragment slots to use. The Titan one gives you melee energy when you shatter crystals, so you can recharge your constantly whiffing melee attack. And then the Hunter one, the Hunter one bothers me. It's slow on dodge, which seems very, very specifically geared for PvP, because in PvE it's like maybe you will slow one enemy for like 2 seconds because the range is so small. Like in PvP, I get it. Like even in PvP though, it's a really short range. It seems like something that was designed for PvP, and then to not make it overpowered in PvP, hunters now only get 2 fragments total. Like that arrived and did not come with any more fragment slots. So warlocks have the freezing rift and the thing that gives you shooting out shards, and they get 4 fragments. Hunters get slow dodge, the crash one, and 2 fragments. That doesn't seem great to me, and I am also just wondering, are there more fragments and aspects? Because we talked about how this was going to be like a new way to customize subclasses and blah, blah, blah. But like, if there's only 2 aspects, that's not customization because you only have 2 slots. So it feels like there would have to be at least 3 or 4 to really kind of make a custom build and not just have access to everything available. It's possible. Maybe they introduce more throughout the season. I don't think there are any left that we haven't seen that we've seen in like preview materials. Those are all out now, so I don't know how that's going to be handled. But I'm just curious to see if they're going to introduce more by the end of the season. Tomorrow there will be 2 more, the last 2 fragments to unlock if you've been keeping up with this. But I don't know. I love Stasis. I think it's a lot of fun, but this aspect, no pun intended, strikes me as a little strange. Just because of all the talk about like, big customization and stuff when there's not really that much, especially for a warlock where you can have 6 out of 8 total things active at any given time. So that's, I don't know, it's a little weird, but, and then, it's pretty much, that's kind of where the story's left off. Like you talk to the stranger at the end. I won't spoil the end of some of this stuff, but it has a very final note to it where it doesn't seem like a whole lot else is going on with the Beyond Light stuff for the moment. I think we're going to start getting into some more Wild Hunt things, and that storyline is going to progress a little more now, and a lot of the Beyond Light stuff is going to take a back seat for a while. And I think that's fine. I mean, there's been a lot to do, and as we speak, I'm recording this in between breaks of farming the 1250 helmet loss sector for Mask of Bacchus and the other 2. I recorded, the thing I was playing is a recording of one of my runs as Hunter, and I think I got it the run after that, so now I'm on Titan trying to get the helm of I don't even know what it's called or what it does. Isn't it like give an overshield on reviving your team or something? I just remember it being like for trials. I don't really care about that one, but I got Dawn Chorus, I got Mask of Bacchus. I have loved doing the Lost Sector farm. I'll probably do a whole video on the Lost Sector farm. Just the whole idea of crafting a build and like trying to get your time down as low as possible and like really learning these levels and your loadout and stuff like that for this as a solo player has been extremely cool. I've really enjoyed doing this, and I'm kind of sad that it's almost over because once I get one new exotic, I guess I can farm for just any random, exotic in that slot that drops, but it won't quite be the same as doing it for a new exotic. But I think this is a good way to introduce new armor exotics in the future as kind of a dedicated activity, and I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's kind of where we are now. People will probably still have a checklist of things to do, like all the Varix missions and stuff like that. If you're not me, I didn't just burn through it all in the last 36 hours or so. And then of course there's the raid to do as well now that that's open. But yep, I'm not done with Beyond Light. Obviously, we got to tune in every reset to see what happens. Things are probably going to start slowing down now to a certain extent. I think Hawkmoon is the last exotic that we know about that is still to come this season, and that's going to be through some Season of the Hunt activity, not Beyond Light. And I'm curious to see what happens with the Crow storyline, because obviously that is far from resolved, and how that progresses week to week. I am very curious if these monster hunts, I forget what they're actually called, Empire hunts, no wait, there's a different hunt. I don't know, whatever the hunts are called. If they're going to get any harder, because I think tier 2 is the max, and that's like 1230, and I can still kill the bosses with like a clip of Xenophage or like a round of grenades or something. Like, I just don't really like these like encounters are 20 seconds at their best. And I don't really get where this goes from here unless there's going to be a bunch more unlocked hunts that are more complicated and complex than what we have now. I hope there are. I don't know if there are or not. I need to recheck the roadmap. Maybe there's more on that for Season of the Hunt that I haven't seen, but at the very least, we get the Hawkmoon quest, we get more story stuff from the Crow and Spider, so that's all very cool. And yeah, I don't know, I'm having a good time. I'm going to go back to Lost Sector farming, so wish me luck. I have not had the best luck so far because it's taken many more runs than it did when I was getting the arms, but it's fun and I like it, so it's a good time. But all right, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't, and thank you.